This is Message SOS. I'm your host today. My name is Calvin. My guest today is Drexel Mohammed to my right and Mr. Wallace Johnson to my left. And we have some film of them. They have some situations going, and we would like for you to view it and listen for yourselves. Would you play that for us, please, John? Thank you.
Sector here, but what we really have a problem with, we have a problem with contractors that are about to receive, I guess, billions of dollars worth of work. There's about $10 billion worth of work that's going to take place here in the General LA area within the next 2 to 3 years. The same contractors that are not hiring black folk, or these are the contractors that's going to be getting contracts. So what we've done over the years, we've tried to get them to open up an avenue for black folk, not for minorities, because everybody else is in but us. We're trying to get them to open up an avenue where we can be successful and take care of our families, and it's just not happening. So on that note, I'd like to have you guys talk with the LA Truckers Association regarding cycling. Right now we have here Mr. Wallace Johnson, Mr. John Orange.
My name is Wallace Johnson. I'm a representative of the Contractor Truckers Association of the City of Los Angeles. And I was a temporary trucker for the city up until July the 1st, 1997. The city used us to get us minority certified women and disadvantaged people to give our work to a company called Cycling. It was an out-of-state company. Another company called Channel, which is an out-of-city company. We are fighting this because as minorities in our community, we are supposed to have the jobs by the city contract, but it reads, the city has more money now than they ever had through public works history of Los Angeles. The mayor ran his election on small business, entrepreneurs, and race relations in the city. None of this is happening. Cycling is an out-of-state company, which they are trying to make a multi-million-dollar company by giving them the money that the federal government has handed down to the city of Los Angeles, Department of Public Works. Mr. Greg Scott just got appointed director of this bureau, and here we are, as minorities, we are out of work. Cycling is doing the same thing that the city is doing. They want people to become minority certified. We are already minority certified. We have our paperwork. Cycling will not hire us. Cycling is a company that has came in taking bribes from truckers only to put them out of business. And we're tired of this situation in our city. This is our city. We don't work for the city works for us. And we want the city representatives, the city council people, they don't, the only thing happening is what they let happen. They know what's going on. We wrote to the city council, the mayor's office, and these people letters 6 weeks ago when we first got the message that this work is being turned over to Cycling. Cycling has given the city a black eye in every way. We have a contract, but the way the contract is written up, gas has been on the list to get city work in the trucking industry for the last 40 years. The city has been against this, their own rules, to give this work to a non-minority company, which is Cycling. Blacks, women, disadvantaged people are supposed to be on the list first, off of this list. They have it written right here in black and white. So what we are asking to happen, we want the representatives from the city that's handling this to stop giving the city the black eye. If not, we want the federal government to stop funding the city with the iced tea money. That's the money that is against many rules of the city. And like I said, we have truckers that has went out of business because of cycling. And we want this problem addressed. We want some of our city officials, we want the people that we elected in, the council people, to come out and answer the letters that we have written them in the past. If you can't answer the letters, you probably shouldn't even be in there. The City of Los Angeles Street Maintenance Bureau has $133 million in 1997 fiscal year. What are we doing with this money? What are we doing with this money? We're trying to make cycling a multi-billion dollar company from a different state, and it's not working. It is not working. They don't pay on time. They take bribes under the table. We have people that been put out of business because of them. How many black eyes do we want the city to give?
I'm John Arns. I'm a former employee of cycling. The reason I'm here today is to speak about prevailing wages, which cycling is not paying. Therefore, they're affecting the quality of life for the people that work for them. I worked for them for 7 months. I asked about prevailing wage. 2 weeks later, I did not have a job anymore. That kind of tortured me because my family has to eat just like everybody else's. Their new contract calls for prevailing wages. It was signed the 4th of June this year. Last year and the previous years, back to 92, it did not specifically call for prevailing wages, but they are still doing exactly the same job that they were doing 5 years ago. And if it's prevailing wage now, it should be prevailing wage then. And basically, all I'm asking for is city officials to look into this and give me a determination on whether it is prevailing wage or whether it is not. If it's not, I'll leave you alone. But if it is, I want my money. I want it now. That's pretty much all I've got.
What about the situation with the actual dollars being given physically to members of cycling?
Oh yeah, I've seen truckers come in there, contract truckers for the city or cycling, probably both. I don't know, I wasn't in the trucking end of it. But I've seen these people come in there, give plant manager named Tony Grell a magazine with $400 bills in there. Tony looks at it, takes $400 bills out of it, sticks it in his pocket, and all is said and done. His truck runs the next day. His truck runs every day. And that's why these truckers that don't want to pay off, they don't have a damn job anymore. It's strictly because they don't kick back the money to cycling.
That's what we are saying about the payoffs with cycling. If you had $300 or $400 to give this guy under the table so he can put it in his pocket, you can work. You can go to the front of the list until someone come after you to pay more money. We have had truckers to go out of business because of this, and we are tired of the city putting us on the back burner. We are the minorities of the city, and like we said before, city work for us. We don't work for the city, and we want them to come to the forefront and address this problem as soon as possible.
Okay, I'd like to add to that, upon my investigating a little bit from the Young Black Contractors Association, the cycling issue.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and our guest, Mr. Muhammad and Mr. Johnson, tell us what's going on. Mr. Muhammad, what's going on?
Well, basically, I'd like for Mr. Johnson to start that off and
Okay.
tell us about that.
Tell us.
Well, I was a contract trucker for the city of Los Angeles, and we was put on the back burner simply because out of the city companies come in and taking our job. The city asked us to be minority certified so they can get monies from the federal government to redo the streets in our city. We was used in the way of getting minority certified, and the city took the program and ended it. They gave us the information that there was no more money, but a week later, an article come out in the newspaper that the city Department of Public Works Street Maintenance had a $133 million annual budget for 1997. And at that time, we wrote a letter to the city to ask them, you know, to address this problem. And up until today, we haven't heard anything from them. We knew that our jobs was being given away to a company called Cycling. Cycling is a company that came out of Texas. They have been working with the city for recycling asphalt. We are truckers. We have no problem with asphalt. We'll let them have that job. But when they came and took our jobs as truckers to give them to Cycling, that really got under our skin. So at this point, as being minority certified to work for the city of Los Angeles to help the city get federal funds to redo the streets, Cycling came along and told the city that evidently they could do the job cheaper. And they are asking the people, the guys, the truckers, to get minority certified because they have the federal money. The federal money I'm talking about is called ICE-T money, and it comes from the Department of Transportation, and it goes to every city in the United States to redo their streets. And the contract reads that minorities will be given the first chance. Minority, women, and disadvantaged people will be given the first chance at these jobs. But for some reason, they just took it from us. I was a temporary trucker for about 3 years with the city. And like I said, they said the monies had ran out. And a week later, an article came out in the paper where the city of Los Angeles Department of Public Works had $133 million annual budget to redo these streets, resurface these streets. And we're really disgusted. We want to know why the mayor ran on entrepreneurs, small businesses that he want to promote in this city.
Who's the mayor?
Richard Worden.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, and we are one of the first programs that was small business people in the city, and we were one of the first ones that they're cutting out. And we're not happy with this at all. And Cycling, being a such undercut company, taking bribes under the table. I have fellow truckers that went along with the program to pay under the table. And right now they're out of business because they was promised jobs, they was given jobs until the next guy came along to pay more money. So we are really upset with the city officials letting this go on. We have brought it to their attention. They have yet to address our problem. And we're just outraged about this.
So nobody's, you can't get no answers from nobody?
We haven't got an answer yet. We wrote a letter, and we asked the mayor's office, the city council people to look into it. And I even went down to a public works meeting, and the couple of council people told me that they hadn't received the letter. So I had a stack of them in my hand. So I went to every personal council office, and I made sure I gave them a copy, and I asked them to log it in, the date and the time that I did. But it didn't do any good. And, you know, we are out of work. Cycling has got our job. They're rolling real good. And the black eye that they have given the city is continuing. And we want it to be addressed.
I think part of the problem with Cycling and the other company, Shino, is the fact that the city has certain rules and regulations or guidelines or bylaws, if you will, in terms of contracting. And I think what has happened here is, from my talking to you when the truckers joined the Young Black Contractors Association, is that there are no true bylaws set in place for the company of Cycling. Cycling can do whatever they want, when they want, without anybody slapping them on the hand. However, if they're going to work for the city, they should follow the same guidelines. And the other part of it is, I truly don't think that there's going to be anything that the truckers can do until we turn up the heat on these guys. I mean, it's alleged that people have paid money to work. It's alleged that prevailing wages haven't been paid. I mean, those are serious issues, man, from a contractor standpoint. So what we're trying to do is to get with Cycling and see if they'll talk to us. However, they're not doing a whole lot of talking.
Nobody's talking.
Nobody's talking. Nobody will talk to me. If I'm not mistaken, Wallace and the gang had an attorney on this issue.
Somebody's getting money, though, ain't it?
Somebody got money.
Ain't nobody talking.
Somebody got money.
Already got the money.
Yeah, some attorney came. I think they charged you guys right at $35,000 to do some investigating, and they just backed out, and nothing was done. So it's a real key issue here with people going to work. If I'm not mistaken, just before you guys were let go or laid off, you guys were instructed to buy extra equipment for your trucks.
Well, yes. In 1996, we signed a contract with the city for 1 year. And what happened prior to that was the city came to the truckers and told them, you know, this is supposed to be a democracy, not a dictatorship, that you had to have electric torque, which was $2,500 plus. You had to have a cell phone. You had to have a pager. You had to have your vehicle inspected once every 90 days, which all this is money. We're talking about a package of maybe $5,000 to $6,000 that we had to get to keep our contract going for 1996.
So they keep coming up with stumbling blocks.
They keep coming up with stumbling blocks. At that particular time, they was taking our hourly wages and turning them to ton mileage, and which we protest because change in human life is a protest. No one likes changes. So we protested the change, and after we signed our contract, the temporary 800, 900 series trucks, we were laid off of work for exactly 7 months.
Keep coming up with loopholes.
That's right.
What about the part of the broker fee? Now, when you guys worked, if I'm not mistaken, when you guys worked directly from the city, there was no broker fee involved. Am I correct?
You're correct.
Okay, now, you guys are working for Cyclean. Well, the people that are working for Cyclean now, the truckers, they're having to pay 8% broker fee, and I hear it's about to go up to an estimated 10 to 15%?
Yes. The people that are working for Cyclean, they are paying 8% on a broker fee. And the rumor is that the broker fee for Cyclean is going up to 15%, which myself, I do not work for Cyclean. I will not work for Cyclean. Cyclean was an out-of-state company that took up to 90 days to pay an individual. And with your bills going all the time, you can't live like that.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me ask you, what's somebody told you have to take your sign down, what's this about?
Over on Crenshaw?
Crenshaw Boulevard.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm Drexel Muhammad over on Crenshaw and Coliseum, and it's been rumored that a couple people from the community had said that my sign was racist due to two facts. One being that the sign looks like some old KKK sign from the Deep South, and that's where I'm from, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. And the other being is that South Central should be taken off the sign. Well, upon my arrival here in California, that's where I grew up. I mean, if you got Georgia of Beverly Hills stating a case out in Compton, it's still going to say Georgia of Beverly Hills. It's not going to change that sign.
Well, isn't this where the work is being done is in South Central, right?
Well, it's not technically in South Central. However, it is in L.A. where black people live. I mean, Hispanic too. But the real problem with that particular site is that as the president of this organization and a general engineering contractor myself, it was a Korean contractor out there working for the company that we're involved with right now, and I won't mention their names. He was out there working with no contract and no permit. And at that time, we did a friendly community nonviolent protest, and they left the site. Upon them leaving the site, we got with the owners, and we're working with them right now.
Okay. This is what we're in South Central, and people ask, you know, it's a lot of things going on. People ask, what is the problem? Why is there racism? You know, you're working over here. Black people live here, Hispanic people, women, they all need jobs. You're working in the area, but you're not putting no money in here, and the money comes in here, and then there's short-stopping the money. This is the gist that I get from the conversation that we're having. Is this what's really going on? This is what you see? Exactly.
I mean, as an entrepreneur of this city, Angelino, I feel that I pay more taxes here than a guy from Texas that come here to take my job.
If, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just, if we're going to do anything about racism, if we're going to do anything about our children, about the people walking the streets, about relations, we got to start with economics. And the money's coming over here, and it's not right that all this wheeling and dealing is going on, because everybody is paying taxes, everybody's putting into the pot. And if you really want to heal this city, then you're going to have to heal the people. You got to deal with the people. If you have any comments on this show, or you want to talk to these people, or you have any information about what's going on out there, you heard about the alleged money changing hands and this and that. I didn't say it, you heard the people say it. So if you got any comments or anything, send them to us on the end of the show. You'll see our address, and we'll forward it to the proper people. And we will be doing another show on this. And we want you to get involved as a community, as a people, and stick your nose into it and see what's going on. Don't just let the money come in here and you're going to run around and push a cart. So, at that rate, we're going to have to close this show out, and we're going to be doing another show follow-up, let you know what's going on. And we got to wrap this show up. See my floor director and John. You play a little bit of that song for me, please? I'd appreciate it. Yeah, we through. Yeah, my brother Daryl, his birthday was this month. That's whose funeral we watching. We had some articles that I wanted to read, but I don't have enough time left. But, you know, they had one young man's trial. Let me read this to you. This guy killed Daryl's friend. He killed Charles. One man is under arrest. A second is pending. A third man is being sought in connection with the February murder of a West Memphis man. Antonio Williams, 22, of 116 Stewart, was charged with capital murder in connection with the February 1st, 97 shooting of Charles Newsom, 25. Newsom was found shot to death inside his blue Cadillac parked outside Mayfair Apartments after he came out of his mother's house visiting her, and they shot through his car, went through his car, through his back, out of his chest with an AK-47. They ain't got no business with that on the street. AK-47. So there are 9 individuals dead in this case. 2, my brother and his friend, and 7 more individuals charged with capital murder. This has got to stop. And it's all, we're dying. We're dying. We're dying from lack of money, lack of knowledge, lack of self-respect, lack of self-preservation, you name it. We getting it. Black people, help yourself. Don't let them run over you, because they rolling you like steamrollers. You got to do something. Don't just be sitting still. Yeah. How y'all doing out there?